A small businessman in San Francisco is accusing city officials of corruption and influence peddling. At issue are those very lucrative contracts to run the city's parking garages. The I-Team's Dan Noyes is here now with his investigation into this. Dan.
Carolyn and Dan, the city attorney is investigating the businessman's claim he has filed. He won the bidding to run 6 of San Francisco's most profitable garages, but somehow he lost the deal. For Fred Bekele, the American dream was quite real. He immigrated from Ethiopia 30 years ago and worked his way up in the parking business.
I was a cashier, valet attendant, you name it, and I'd done all the, everything. And then I said, it's about time for me to do this, and I could do this myself.
He manages 3 garages for the city. And when the Municipal Transportation Agency, or MTA, announced a new open and fair bidding process, Bekele saw a chance to take his business to the next level.
I bid, yes, I bid. It was...
and you won?
Completely. Fair and square.
Bekele partnered with a Canadian company and won the contract, pending board approval, to manage 6 of the city's most profitable garages, including Civic Center, St. Mary's Square, and Golden Gateway. But behind closed doors, the wheeling and dealing was about to begin.
The companies who did not like the outcome were able to influence powerful people in the city to get this thing reversed or rejected, and that's exactly what happened.
The claim that Bekele's attorneys filed against the city and county allege unfair business practices, retaliation, intentional interference with contractual relationships, and more. At the center of the controversy, the relationship between MTA Executive Director and CEO Nat Ford, who oversees the bidding process, and prominent San Francisco attorney Stephen Kay. This is filed video of Kay from 1997. He still represents the 49ers. Ford told us Kay is his personal attorney, but that they had no conversations about the parking garage contracts. Any conversation with Stephen Kay?
Stephen Kay, not in terms of any parking contracts. Right. He represents me as my attorney from time to time, but no involvement with the parking contracts.
No involvement? Here's the personal and confidential letter Stephen Kay sent Ford on behalf of another one of his clients, Pacific Park Management, who lost the St. Mary's Square garage contract to Fred Bekele. Kay called the bidding an unjust and inequitable process and asked Ford to set aside the results. The same day Kay sent that letter, an MTA staff member wrote an email saying Ford was now discussing rejecting all the proposals. Then there's the meeting at Kay's penthouse office on the Embarcadero, New Year's Eve, 2009.
My partner called me and told me that, there's other companies that are second and third place winners want to meet with us at the Stephen Kay's office.
Bekele's claim against the city and county says Kay claimed he was given approval to mediate the meeting by Mr. Ford, and that an executive from 5 Star Parking, another of the losing bidders, made a threat.
If we don't renegotiate and give up some of the garages that we had won, they'll stall the process indefinitely and maybe even get it rejected.
My client was literally told, we have enough juice, and they used the term juice, to stop your contract.
Bekele refused to give up any garages, and he did, in fact, lose the contract. It looked like the vote would go well at the MTA board meeting last March. Staff still recommended that Bekele get the contract.
We feel at this point it would be in the best interest of everyone to just go ahead with the awards at this time.
He even thanked Nat Ford.
I'd like to thank the board and also Mr. Ford.
But somehow, Bekele didn't get the votes.
With 2 ayes and 3 noes, the motion is not approved.
One board member tells the I-Team he wasn't even sure which contract they were voting on, that he had a hard time getting answers from Ford. So Fred Bekele had just one option: return to the board one last time with his new lawyer,
Mr. Chairman.
Welcome back.
Former president of the Board of Supervisors, Matt Gonzalez.
I would rather not be talking about damages a year and a half from now or 2 years from now in front of a jury. I would rather not take your depositions or Director Ford's deposition or request documents. I think this board should reconsider what happened in this matter.
So I'm going to have to protect my rights and pursue legal action.
Ford finally recused himself from the garage contract process last July because of a business relationship that may create the appearance of conflict of interest. Stephen Kay. But Ford sent that letter 4 months after Bekele lost the contract.
Why not recuse yourself earlier, months before? At that point, I mean, the damage was done.
Well, I don't know if there was any damage done because
He lost the contract.
I don't think
Bekele lost the contract.
We as a staff recommended the award of that contract.
The agency's been accused of backroom stuff, and so we take it very seriously.
MTA Board Chairman Tom Nolan tells us investigators are looking into how Bekele lost the garage contract and into that meeting in Stephen Kay's office.
Well, actually, I think they're still talking to people who were participants in the meeting about what did in fact happen. And this is
who's talking to people?
Well, our people, the attorneys are talking.
Which attorneys?
Well, the city attorney, our city attorney.
Investigators at the city attorney's office say they'll wrap up the case very soon. Ford and Kay have something else in common. Former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown, he shares office space with Kay, and Brown recruited Ford for the top spot at the MTA. The mayor tells me he had no role in the parking contracts. No comment from Stephen Kay or executives at Pacific Park and 5 Star. Dan, Carolyn.
Very interesting.
It's a mess right now.
It really is. Thanks, Dan. Yeah.